this is kind of like a final installment so far. It's going to give you an update of what happened after I put these things on YouTube. Okay, so we know that a huge crime was done to me by some doctors, but also many officials from the large hospital corporations in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area, along with some local government officials, including the police chief of Montgomery County, Tom Manger. Okay, and then they've been at it for like 4 years, making sure that they block my medical care, because part of their evil sex crime was to actually see me suffer and die. So it's more than just to cover up, because right from the start they had so many opportunities to actually get away with just the sex portion of the crime. But they were very insistent on making sure that I don't get medical care, so that my condition gets worse. And okay, so, and then along the way, I got help from U.S. District Judge Theodore Chuang. Okay, and that's spelled C-H-U-A-N-G. Okay, and okay, so that's Federal Judge Chuang. And of course, this is Benghazi Ted. You know, he's the guy who killed a U.S. ambassador and 3 U.S. Armed Forces personnel on September 11, I believe in 2012. So yeah, so Judge Chuang had this policy he was carrying out where they kind of don't call terrorism or whatever, and so they got these 4 people killed. Okay, anyway, so that's Judge Chuang. So that's Benghazi Ted, and so he stonewalls and doesn't send help. So really, but he actually signed on to actually help me, and it looked like he was going to, in some strange way, he kind of he did something unusual, which is actually the right thing. But then after he figured out how much money was there to be made, of course Chuang then flipped sides and he went to the crime side. And of course, and it's not like a judge being on the take usually, where they do things for the other side right from the start. So now he has to do all sorts of contortions. So he's been doing all kinds of contortions and making sure that my medical care gets blocked over 4 years, even though what he signed up for and what he did, he actually set up a law that he himself created, and he had a 26-page document explaining the situation as it was known to date at that point in November of 2015, and he was fully ready to help me solve the problem. And then of course he switched sides, and that's also connected to him having, when he used to be a high-up official in the Democrat House side who was investigating Iraq war contractors, and so his people really wanted him to investigate and get some of these Iraq war contractors into jail. But Chuang, he actually, there also, to make money on the side, he went and had a secret deal with a law firm that is doing the work of the same Iraq war contractors. So, and of course, then, he made the deals and he got the money, and so none of them got prosecuted. And anyway, so that's the kind of guy that Judge Chuang is. So that's what he did. And so then, of course, then after he did a betrayal in my case, Judge Chuang, then he did this old stonewalling technique. That's what he did in Benghazi and got the 4 Americans killed. So, and then after that, so then he couldn't take the heat, when I wasn't dying, I guess, fast enough for him, and he could only stall so much. So then our U.S. senators in Maryland, they gave us another horrible judge, another criminal all her life, and this was Paula Xinis. Yeah, she's like, I guess she was born a criminal, and I mean, I really can't see any redeeming qualities in her. I think whatever redeeming qualities she has, it's all a ploy, to do more crime and to do more wrong. And so that's who Paula Xinis is. Anyway, so, and then, at least Judge Chuang from the start, he was on my side, and then he flipped. Maybe he got blackmailed because these law firms knew what he was doing. But for Xinis, right from the start, yeah, she was there to do this job, and this illegal job. And so now, who do I hear back from? Well, I do hear back from the state of Maryland in some ways. They have this outsourced operation for their medical thing or whatever going on in Wisconsin. And well, it's mainly through the MedStar Corporation, the MedStar Health Corporation. And they've been sending me, spam email on a regular basis. So it's spam email that goes right at the injuries they caused me. So it's like they say, it's in a mocking way. So they send me spam email for the things like jobs, and then they send it, and then because I had since I can't work from the injuries they gave me, right? And so then they also send me spam email for things like mature dating, since I got disfigured so much from the injuries they gave me. And I think mature dating is for like, if you're like 100 or something, I don't know how old you have to be. Anyway, and then they get, and they cost, because the cost of brain injury and the disfiguring cost a lot of teeth to fall out, and I can't get the teeth fixed because the local nerve block that they do for the regular dental stuff, it goes right into the brain. So I can't get that taken care of. So they send me a lot of emails, spam emails for dentures. But anyway, so what they've been sending me lately is, after I put everything up, I think they're essentially admitting everything they did, but they kind of just say, what am I going to do about it, since they control everything, right? I mean, they're the type of people who are supposed to be solving this kind of problem, right? I mean, they are the hospital officials, they are the doctors, they're the police chief, they're the local government officials. They're the ones who are actually put in charge of actually solving these kind of problems, and of course they did the same, and they did the crime. So I guess what they're saying is, what am I going to do about it? Because now in one of the mocking emails, they do this strange thing. They send me this email which says that it's supposedly they set up an entire website, a fake kind of website, where they take, because the website called dictionary.com sends out a word of the day. So what these people do is they created an entirely fake website where they send out their own word of the day, but they link it to the definition as defined by dictionary.com. So when I checked with dictionaries.com's word of the day, it doesn't match up with this other company's word of the day, which is supposedly coming from dictionary.com. And I think this is also a crime, and this is kind of like a patent violation and all. They're not supposed to link to dictionary.com and make it look like it's dictionary.com's word of the day, but it's really something they have been sending kind of like in a mocking way. So I think, before I had put these videos up recently, they sent me a supposed dictionary.com word of the day, which didn't match up for the day, and the word was chimerical, right? I think that's kind of like, essentially they're kind of accusing me of having some crazy wild fantasy or whatever. Okay, well, after I put my videos up, I guess they admit everything. They don't say it's chimerical anymore. The word of the day is, they put encephalon. Okay, so I think encephalon or encephalon, and encephalon is like the is like a root word for brain, right? ENCEPHALON. Okay, well, I found out in dictionary.com they did have encephalon as the word of the day, but that was like a year ago. But these people sent me this like just a couple of days ago in the middle of 2017, 1 year later, right, from when that dictionary.com word was used. So I think they're sending encephalon. I guess they admit that they injured my brain to do a sex crime. So that's what they admit. And then, of course, we hear back from Paula Xinis, the judge who's currently handling the case. And so, we haven't heard back from her for like a year. And I had all these emergency requests with her and she didn't deal with any of these requests. So I sent it to the appeals court, and the appeals court found exactly what I've been saying, that these two judges have been taking and tossing out all my emergency requests in the trash. So the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals told Judge Xinis, right, they gave her instruction that she has to deal with my emergency request. It didn't say that she has to give me my emergency request. What they said is, if she's going to deny my emergency request, she has to give out the rationale. And so for the latest one, which was from September of last year, they ordered her to do that. But Judge Xinis completely defies even the appeals court. And so the appeals court, they finally made their ruling on May 5. And according to Judge Xinis' standards, she's supposed to rule on a motion, even a non-emergency motion, within 5 days. So, but this was an emergency motion. But still, so we give it May 5 until May 10. So by May 10, even on normal way, she should have had it done. But Judge Xinis didn't have anything done until May 10. See? So on May 5, the appeals court ordered her to do that. They ordered her to deal with my emergency motions, but she did not. She defied the appeals court, and she just went silent. So that was May 5, and it should have been done a few days later, but she just went silent. And you know what? After I put my videos up like around June 1, then all of a sudden, about June 12 or something, I'm hearing again from Paula Xinis. See? Now, Paula Xinis, she wants me to appear for a telephone hearing. But she's not saying what the purpose of the hearing is. So it looks like she's still defying all the rules, including what the appeals court ordered her to do. That's an official court order from the appeals court, which she's defying. So she doesn't want to do that. And I think what she wants to do is she wants to have a hearing where she can threaten me into taking down the YouTube videos, you see? See, there is a concept called temporal proximity. It means, things happening in a time, when something happened along in time. So, if she were required to deal with my emergency motion on May 5 and she did not do that, she could have called for a hearing to gather some more information at that point, but she didn't do that. She waited more than a month, but exactly time to when my YouTube videos came, and when she sent the letter out that she wants me to come for a telephone hearing, which means I don't have to go, but it's still an official hearing done through the phone, and so she doesn't mention any kind of subject matter, and it looks like she wrote it up herself. And once again, we have this thing where her employees and support staff, they're not involved in her crime, and she's doing it all on her own. She just wants me to kind of intimidate me into taking down my YouTube videos. And we also have that Chief Tom Manger, the pervert. He's still doing some horrible things, and that I can't report on now.